Thank you, Mike. Okay, now, as you're looking at the agenda, we have no guests today, but I added one this morning when I got a call from Mason. Mason, is that your first name?
I think it is.
Mason, who is going to quote on the septic system that we're talking about, and I think you guys have seen emails we've gotten from some of the other quotes that we've had so far, but Mason called and said that he could do it a whole lot cheaper with a different design, and so instead of just me hearing it, I told him to come to the meeting tonight and discuss it to all of us. Mason, the floor is yours.
So, I looked over the plans, crunched all the numbers here. This is a system, it's relatively large. With that being said, I do believe that this is not the right system for what you guys are trying to achieve over there, and it can be done in a more efficient, cost-effective manner. A couple cons to this system is the usage of the area once the system is put in the ground. It takes up to 250-foot real estate there that unfortunately nobody can use or has access to in the future. So what I proposed to Gene was installing a spray system versus a mound. That spray system involves a lot of the same components, treats the water the same way. However, instead of going to that big mound system, it goes to 2 spray heads. And people in the community would probably have them. They go off at certain times throughout the night. We set that timer based on the usage that you guys are going to be using at the park. So it's not going to go off during the middle of a soccer game or anything like that. And you get a lot more real estate back than you would with the mound. It's a lot more usable space. In addition, it's a lot more cost effective. The savings that I crunched was right around $12,500 from going with the spray system versus the mound system. In addition, the mound system, once that mound system fails, there's no replacing that mound system itself. You need all new tanks, you need all new everything. So with the spray system, you can replace every component on the system, and you can update it and do whatever you need to in order to keep it in the good graces of the health department, which we've had no problem doing.
And you've done that on a commercial basis?
Yes,
also,
yeah.
Besides?
Yes. Larger and smaller, but yes.
Now, you saw in relationship to our pavilion there and where we wanted to put that, where the bathrooms are, knowing that has to leach out, where are you going to put these sprayers?
They'll be in the same footprint of where that mound is.
Where the mound is? Because the mound is pretty close to the fields.
Where this proposed mound would be, on that back, by that back walkway that goes all the way back through there. And again, there's small spray heads that stick up, pretty high. We would have to still do a lot evaluation with the health department and look at the original soils report in order to dictate where we could place those. We can move them within the soil boundaries in order to put them in the location that works best for everybody.
So this is in opposition to what we just had done by that architect for the...
Well, I think the architect gave us his drawings, but, and we've already had a couple quotes from other people, but Mason is suggesting that maybe there's a better and a cheaper way, and that's why I asked for the color.
Yeah, I just want to interject here. Mason, you're with Auburn Bainbridge.
Correct, yes.
Excavating, so yeah, local company that
Right.
a lot of us have done business with.
Any questions for Mason?
This was a $12,000 difference between...
So your quote, if I remember, it was in the, what, 38
38 was for my spray.
with the spray, and the other one was
50,500.
50 some, because I think I've seen one already for in the 50s, 58 or whatever, and I saw another one I got today for 83,000. So
How we would propose doing the job would be directional boring a line so you don't rip up the soccer fields and the fields over there, place our spray heads, limited disruptions to the park as it is, and try and keep it neat and clean, and I think it would be the best way for, happy for everybody.
you're saying these spray heads would fit, be how high out of the ground?
They're about 3 foot out of the ground.
Are we gonna have to worry about problems with that, with vandalism, or? Again, this isn't my
Kids running
backyard.
through the
This is,
sprinklers,
yeah.
I can't speak to kids and what kids are gonna be doing, but, you know, back there, they're pretty solid and relatively rugged, and, anything that does go wrong, you run into the same problem with the mount system as well. You know, if kids start running on top of it, you're gonna run into the same issue with the mount system, so.
So with the system that you're projecting, you're talking roughly 38,000 versus the 50,000 range, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty strong on that number, to get it done for that.
I'm just wondering, we're gonna have to go through the health department through all this, do we want Mason to kind of give us a spread out of what he's talking about technically and send it to the health department?
Yeah, we should have something.
Can you give us a more detailed?
Yeah, I can
that we
draw
could
up a
send up there?
document.
Would
I
you
can
do
do
that?
something just like this, and
Yeah.
then, normally we meet with the health department out there, do your lot evaluations,
Okay.
and then
Yeah, because that's the first thing they're gonna ask us
Right.
for is when we come
plan,
in.
and
If you could do that, because we're gonna have to go through them. I also have to meet with Shane from the Land Conservancy to see how that fits in their plans. And, yeah, if you could do that for us, that'd be appreciated. The sooner you get it to us, we can get it to the health department and have them look over, and then we'll go from there.
we'll jump on it right
Would
away.
that be good?
You're awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming in on such a short notice.
Not a problem.
Like I said, I'm not a technical guy. I know these guys are very technical, so I wanted to make sure they heard what you had to say too.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Is there any questions from the audience for Mason while he's here?
Mason, how do you spell your last name?
Doctor, D-A-U.
Yeah, we don't need to do phase 5 down there.
They're at 300 for advanced duration. I'm not sure what like drug something those are going for, but
The first 3 years of career too.
the first two with the seniors,
Urban mounds don't have a service.
no, they don't have any warranty either.
Was that bid out again?
Crossfire.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, thanks for coming. Okay, we're going to move on with our agenda. We have scheduled reports, and we're going to start with the Honorable Frank Kitko, our county inspector.
You gentlemen should all have a copy of the report for July. We processed 8 permits. We did have some commercial work. Finally, they cut all this planning and so forth, working back and forth, and now finally have permits, both 8-Day Brewery and what I call the coffee shop that you're all familiar with. The beauty shop used to be Zoga's Beauty Shop. They are moving forward, so there's been some movement there. Finally, after back and forth many times between the architect, the engineer, myself, and Jane, and I think we've got everything worked out. But I'm going to pass this on to you. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to. The coffee shop has like little greenhouses, okay? And the building department said, oh, you should apply those agriculturally. And my stance is no, it's not agriculturally. When you're bringing people in there, it's.
What's he doing, growing coffee in them?
I didn't know exactly what they're gonna grow in them, but, it was suggested by the building department. And I hear again, my thinking is it's just they don't want to inspect it, make it. So we may get some feedback on that, but the architect agreed, but the building department suggested, and he asked if I would do that, and I said I will not.
How big are these greenhouses?
Huh?
How big are the greenhouses?
Well, I don't know, they're like, I can't remember exactly, PJ, I have to pull the print back out, but, they're not huge, but they're little, like clusters of one here, one there, and I think.
Are these for people to sit in and have
Yeah,
coffee?
yeah.
So they're not really greenhouses?
Well, I guess they're gonna be growing some stuff and everything, but, here again, when you bring the public into a structure
Yeah,
that's not inspected, are we opening the township up for potential lawsuit if, God forbid, something were to happen, because it's not been inspected, you know, it may or may not be built to commercial codes. And, you know, it's one thing for you and I to have a greenhouse and, you know, have some neighbors come in and sit down and, but to have the public, you know, this is an establishment that's gonna be somewhat of an event center at some point, you know, it's gonna be a restaurant, they're gonna have drive-through and all these other things. You can have people coming in there and, I just don't feel that that should be granted agriculture when, you know, if it's just a small, you know, if one thing, if you're keeping it agriculture and you're not letting the public in, that's a little different, but they're gonna let the public in and walk around, sit down, maybe, you know. So, I've taken that stance and, we'll see what happens, but the architect agreed, he said, I agree with you that we need to get this inspected. And here again, if you could declare something agriculture, the building department refuses to inspect, so here we are, you know.
Why would the building department suggest they make it agriculture if it's part of a retail coffee business? And it's not really greenhouses, it's places where people can come in and sit down to have their coffee. My daughter's adding a huge thing onto the restaurant, the
Right.
building that looks like a greenhouse, but it's a gathering
Right.
place for events. But it looks like a greenhouse, but
Right.
she's not calling it a greenhouse, it's part of the
Right.
building, retail.
Right,
Why wouldn't this fall
Right.
under those kind of,
I agree, I agree 100%.
or I should tell my daughter to call that thing agriculture
There you
and
go.
put a
There
chicken
you
in.
go.
Yeah.
Put a chicken.
But,
You talk to the
anyway,
building
you know,
department, ask them
so,
what their justification is for that kind of statement to them?
Mike, I don't have a very good relationship with the building department. They have yet to call me back on several occasions, and so, you know, I just, you know, ever since we had the issue down on Auburn Road, you know, so.
Yeah, they really shouldn't even make such a suggestion, I wouldn't think. They would
Well,
leave that
that's
with the
my-
local authority. Yeah.
Fire department will look at it as commercial piece of property,
That's what I,
and we will enforce the code.
yeah, that's, you know, so why, you know, tell them they can do this, and then the fire department's gonna make it through the code anyway, you know, so.
So, once again, just for my own clarification, these are a bunch of little
I thi-
things,
yeah,
or is
I
it
can't remember how many.
onto the structure?
Yeah, well, this, there is one structure, and then there's gonna be more than one structure.
And they're not connected.
Right, no, not to the main.
They're like
structure.
those things you see at restaurants downtown, the little igloos in the
It
winter
could
that
be.
you eat out, is that what he's?
You know, but I just know that I've taken that stance, and you may or may not get some flack. The architect agrees with me, he says, I have no problem with it, the guy pulling the permit has no problem with it. So, you know, I mean, he's
Okay.
moving forward and with it and everything, so, you know.
It'd be pretty safe with just following Frank's.
And then the other one, you know, 8 Day Brewery, they have put in one, I believe there's gonna be one more, but one shipping container, which will be used for basically storage of, I think one of them is gonna be cold storage where, you know, they use as a cooler and so forth, but they've got the permit and everything. So, and you will, if you also notice down there, I should mention this too, that the old carriage house, what we call the carriage house,
Get the front rib.
where the physical therapist is, they're redoing that building, they're taking the porch off, and the porch is open, and now when they're done, they'll rebuild it, but will be enclosed now, it won't be an open porch. But they have all their permits to do that, so. And the physical therapist and the 8 Day Brewery guy, they got, you know, they're kind of working together on this these projects, but, so they've got,
Why
I
would the
think.
therapy guy and the 8-Day Bear be working together?
Huh?
Why are they working together?
Well,
They're
because-
partners?
Yeah, they're partners.
You get a
in
beer
parts
and
of
get
it,
therapy
yeah.
at the same time?
But they, and as you know, just so you know, there is issues with the water, drinking of portable water in that area down there. And that's, I mean, years and years ago, that's why the EPA mandated we put a sewer in, and of course, if they put the sewer in and everybody's kind of forgotten about it, well, now it's starting to rear its ugly head again, because now we got these business, well, the physical therapists and 8-Day Brewery, they got some ultraviolet system. The coffee shop, they're gonna have to put some kind of system in to treat the water. So, you know, keep that in mind when here again, these guys like Mr. Donardo and all these other people are gonna put restaurants and everything else. There is not a good source of water down there. You know, and that's kind of, in my opinion, that has held up development in that area down there to some extent, because, oh yeah, we got sewer, but we don't have portable water, you know, drinkable water. And, you know, if you remember back when we had the professional planners and they spent all that time and we paid them all that money, and I said, you know, at the last minute, I said, you guys realize there's no water source down there? And it went like right over their heads at first, you know, and it's just, you guys are planning all this stuff, possibly changing zoning, and he says, oh yeah, there's a sewer, but there's no central water system down there. And somebody gonna develop down there, they're gonna have to put a water system, you know. But I just know that I just wanna make sure you guys realize, if anybody brings it up, there is issues with the water, drinkable water. Auburn Inn got in trouble,
I was just gonna,
you know.
is it,
And
if it
I know
was
that the.
isolated to them, or there's more?
Huh?
I knew about the Auburn Inn thing, but
Right.
it's not
It's not just.
central to them, there's more.
Yeah, because they, physical therapist guy, he and 8-Day Brewery share this ultraviolet system, whatever it is, you know. You know, and I know that the coffee shop, they're gonna have to do something, they've been told.
So what did Auburn Inn do to rectify their situation?
I don't know.
Trucking water in.
Right now, they're just trucking water in, yeah. The health, it's up to the health department to solve that issue, so. But,
That's the second time they were shut down.
yes. That's all I have.
Anybody on board have any more for Frank? Is there anyone here this evening who would have a question for Frank? All right, before we go on to Mike, I apologize, I went out of order a little bit, and we need to approve our minutes from the last meeting. So I'll ask if there's any additions or corrections before we call for a motion.
I haven't had any changes.
You gonna make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mike,
Yes.
EJ,
Yes.
Gene.
Yes. For those of you that were stricken closely to the agenda, I apologize.
This will go on your permanent record.
Okay, Mike Fenstermaker, our Honorable Highway Road Superintendent.
The Auburn Road report for August. So starting last month, we worked with the Bainbridge Parks and did fireworks. We helped set up the fireworks, which kind of includes, we set up a fence to keep the public out of the area where they're setting fireworks off. We set up canopies for the different events that are going on, and kind of placed the cones and barricades where they're going to be put, you know, for traffic control. And then, once the fireworks go off, Auburn is kind of in charge of the middle school parking lot, getting the traffic out. We work with the police and get the traffic all going in the same direction. And then after that, we help clean up, tear the canopies down, get all the cones, barricades put away. And then the next working day, depending on when they have it, we go back and we take the fence down and help them pack everything up. So that's kind of what our responsibility is with fireworks and that.
Everything went smoothly?
Yes. Okay, well, no rain, that's a big thing, because if it rains, then we gotta go back. We really don't wanna do that. We've had several resident requests for ditching this year due to all the rain. I listed some of the areas that we've been, but it's not like concentrated in any part of the township, it's the whole township. And some of the requests are valid and some, they're shaky, but we do something for them. You know, we get over there and try to clean out their ditch and hopefully help them with their basement flooding or their garage flooding. Sometimes I'm not sure that we're helping, but we do what we can for them. We have been working with Manaway and Crackle. We did finish the western Crackle, so from Auburn Road to 44, we went both directions with Manaway and that. Then we worked together with them and we split the cost of the pavement. We put it down with the trucks and then we graded out with our grader. We've got, we did make it down one side of the center Crackle from 44 to, from Auburn to Thorpe. And we got down one side of Crackle on the western Crackle, which is from Mon down to the Bainbridge line down there.
You did you do all that patching there from Munn to Bainbridge line?
We did. It's just a matter of coordination. They have guys on vacation, we have guys on vacation, and we try to work together on that. So next chance we get, we'll start heading back toward the east from Bainbridge line and fix some Crackle.
How are we on roadside mowing? Good?
He's out every chance he gets. The mower head itself broke.
Yeah, we've had some breakdown.
But we have another head that, it works, it's not the best, but we put that head on and let him continue, so it wasn't down very long. We did get the new head put back on, and it wasn't a day later, we broke the cable, the lift cable for the whole mower, so we got that put on. But he's out, and he's actually pushing stuff back pretty far. It just seems like all the rain, the grass is growing and the trees are growing in, so, yeah, he's out just about every day, unless I need an extra hand for traffic control. We get on a main, road, we have to have traffic control, so I'll pull him off the machine and make sure we have plenty of guys for the safe. Kind of went through the repairs. The one mower head, we had to send it's where all the bearings and everything are. The bearings came apart, and it's kind of complicated to get it torqued correctly and everything, so that we sent the case. They rebuilt that and got that back on. The cable. One of the tires on the equipment trailer, we had a big bubble in there, I don't know what happened, so we did have to replace the tire on that. And truck 16, which is getting replaced, blew a hose, so we put a couple new hoses on that, so it's back up on the road now. Capital improvement projects, which is Moreland, Cooper, Jensen, and Regal. All the roads have been ground, so they come in with this giant, they call it a rototiller, but it's giant. And it just grinds all the pavement and dirt all together, kind of fluffs it up. And then they they pack it in, but not real tight. They just roll it so the cars can drive on it. Then the next company comes in, and they came in with a grinder, and they take it down to what's called the base starting point. And they take it down, there's hubs, with elevation points, and they take it down to this starting point. They get it all dialed in. Then the other guys come back and they cement stabilize, which is done also. So they put Portland in and they grind that into the dirt. That's all done. So right now we're waiting, it's a 7-day waiting period for that cement to cure. And they're gonna start paving all the projects, which should happen, I'm hoping midweek.
Oh, okay, good.
So, and I'm sure the residents will be happy to get that rolling, because it's a mess down there right now. It's just dirt. It's hard dirt because it's got cement in it.
Yeah, we had some water problems there too with that
Yeah, we got several inches of rain, so the contractor was real nice. He had a guy on call, and the guy worked through the weekend, and any puddles, he was cutting trenches off the road to try to get the puddles off the road. I think they did a nice job. I didn't get any complaints. Now, the residents have the engineer's number also, so I don't know if he was getting complaints or not, but we have several residents on those projects that have opted not to have the end of their driveways paved, but will instead pay a private contractor to concrete the end of their driveway to the road. We've got a list, it's about 9 driveways right now, and the engineers will calculate our savings on asphalt, and we will refund the residents. It's probably gonna be a few $100. It's not gonna be much. It's whatever we saved in the material, we will refund them. And the engineers are working, they're keeping track of the list. They will calculate the yardage or whatever that doesn't get used, and we'll have to write some checks to the residents to reimburse them for that.
Mike and I talked about this, 10 days ago or so. It seems fair. It's really nothing out of our pocket,
Yeah.
out of the,
It makes them happy.
yeah,
which
it's
is a good-
just materials from the, the
Material
contractor.
saving.
I wish I'd have done that now, because when they did Edward Lane, then repaved up, when I go down, I'm going up in this to get in my drive now. It just sunk in.
Oh, it did.
What do they do in a transition time?
It's gravel.
They just gravel it in?
Limestone, it's nice. Limestone, like 57 limestone or 411, they roll it, it's pretty nice. We did have one washout that they had to fix with all the rain, but that was,
So we've got a savings in asphalt, we still have a minor gravel cost in there.
well, the gravel's there anyways because the road is down, the road's down almost 10 inches right now, so they had to put gravel in just to ramp up to the driveway. So there is gravel there already, so it shouldn't be a whole lot of extra cost for us. Oh, some miscellaneous things we've had. We did have a deer on Stafford we picked up. We do check the park trash twice a week. It's pretty, typically Monday's the worst, but I always check it Friday just to make sure. We had some trees down. We had one at the park, one at the museum, one at the cemetery, shady side up there. We had a tree down on Valley, north of the boat ramp. And we already talked about the roadside mowing, that I have him out as much as I, any chance I have, he's out. So,
How much life did we get out of the bearing that went?
how much life?
Yep.
We bought that Moorhead used from Kent.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
I don't know how many hours were on it, but that's the first time it's ever
Okay.
gone out.
So
It wasn't cheap. I mean, it was, to have them rebuild that hull was like 14 or 1500. It wasn't cheap, but you have to torque some things to 400 foot-pounds, and we really don't have the ability to do that. So we sent it in.
I mean, so it's not something you should plan in the budget for
No.
periodic rebuild like
I
every
think
3
it's
years.
gonna
or
last
something.
probably, I bet you 10, 15 years before it needs to be
It'll
built.
last until it breaks, guaranteed.
Yeah, we'll keep a closer eye on it, making sure it takes a special grease, and we have the grease.
How long did it take them to rebuild it?
I bet you they had it for about a week and a half. They were kind of busy, but not bad. They're hurting on help, hurting on
Like I said, that's the only issue, is not, the repair, it's the downtime on it.
We have a-
We've got the backup, it's not a big.
We have that flail axe, I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's like a flail, but the teeth on it aren't like the little knives that you see. They're big chunks of steel. And it's more meant for stalky stuff, not grass, but it works in it. That's what we used initially. That's all we had. And it worked okay, but it's not great, but it works, We kept them out with that, put that head on, and sent him on his way. He has been spending a lot of time pushing back. I don't know if you've been down to Fox and Shaw. He's got that in pretty good shape. He's been working on, I think he's on Thorpe now. He's been on Barth, pushing back. It just seems like the trees are just really growing in this year.
See, the county got real aggressive up here too.
Yeah, yeah, he said that, I talked to him, and he said that typically every 3 years or so, you gotta really hit certain areas, You gotta really push the park back. That's all I have.
I know you probably don't want to hear this, but have we thought about implementing with a clipboard and paper of checking and having it in writing that we check our stop signs monthly or the
Oh, I
park
think
playground
it's stop
monthly, so that if we have an accident where, I mean, you were in on that meeting.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I mean, we definitely pay attention to everything like that. You know, you get called, typically somebody calls and say, hey, if there's a stop sign down, I mean, that's depending on whose it is. A lot of our stop signs that are on our roads aren't our stop signs. We have stop signs on our roads that are the states and the counties. So you're talking, it'd be township to township roads would be the main ones.
Well, going back to when we sat in that meeting,
Right, oh, yeah.
if there's a stop sign in Auburn that's not ours, and there's a fatality, we're all getting sued.
I'm sure
Auburn, the state,
they can sue
everybody.
anybody.
So, as he suggested,
Right.
have it documented on a clipboard. Yes, we check these signs every, because you heard what he said, if there's a
Right.
fatality, the first thing their
Yeah, I
attorney's
mean-
gonna say is, that's why it was an accident, nobody checked it.
Right.
Just something, I know that's hard to work in, but,
It is.
you know, when you start doing something on a regular basis, it becomes second nature, and,
Mhm.
you know, maybe once a month, the first of the month, one guy's job that day is just to drive around and document it, and sign it, and file it.
We do have we have them all listed, you know, there's a folder with all the signs in there.
Well, I know
And
that,
anytime we see anything, I just replaced two today, that they weren't down, but they were faded, and I didn't, so we fixed those today, but, you know,
I
we
get
keep
it.
an eye out.
but he wants them documented that we
Right.
checked it.
Oh, I know, he wants a lot of stuff.
Well, and remember, he's our insurance guy, he's gonna defend us regardless,
Right,
but
he is.
he's trying to make sure that our liability is low.
Right, well, so that they don't have to go to court is what he's doing.
They want a compliance officer, that's what they want.
Yeah, we'd almost have to hire a full-time guy
I'm
for
just
that.
saying, if you add that to the playground stuff, and
Yeah, you start checking everything.
Especially if you gotta do it weekly.
Yeah, he wants, I think, the playground weekly.
Well, at least in the summer.
When they're up there, you know.
Are there any questions for Mike from the audience tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
On Lindsay, there's a post in the ground where Lindsay makes a turn, and.
Which way you turn?
Well, this would be on the
North
north side of the road.
Okay.
Anyway, the post is in the ground, and it's loose and coming out. It's a pain in the backside,
What's
trying
the
to cut
post
around
for?
it, but it's got a flag on the top of it, and it was put in about 25 years ago or so to keep the salt truck from going off in the ditch.
Post with a flag. I'll have to look at it, I'm not sure
Yeah.
what you mean.
Anyway.
It sounds like a delineator to me to mark out the road so they know where the road's at during a snowstorm, is that
Yeah,
what
I
you're
think
saying?
that's what it was put in for about 25 years ago.
Well, it's there for a reason, and I'll ask the driver if he uses it. If he does, we're gonna leave it. If not, I'm gonna take it out.
Is the issue that it's loose, Tom?
Pardon?
What's the issue with it?
The thing is loose, and I can't even cut past it without the thing falling over. I keep sticking it back in the ground, but
I'll have to ask Mike.
So it was-
Find out whose it is and have them come out.
Oh, that's
If we
fine.
need it,
What's going on
that's
now?
fine, but
Right.
at least put it in so it's not falling down.
Right.
And where is that?
pardon?
What road is that?
Lindsay and Jennifer, or whatever that is up there. Couple things while we got Mike on deck here.
Yes, sir.
Road striping, you saw that the county kind of does a cross-share thing if we want to jump in that. I'll be honest with you, I don't really travel.
I looked around a little bit today, I did drive some roads, some are faded, but you can see it. The worst one, I think, was Taylor May had used on Auburn. The rest didn't look terrible.
These Staffords, but they're
Not-
still
not
there.
bad.
I mean,
they're
yeah.
not terrible.
So we're gonna pass
We're
on
gonna pass on that. They usually
This
come
year.
around every year, every other year with this.
Yeah, they let us know every year if they're out in this area. And I read through the email, I think you save maybe a setup fee, you know, to get all the equipment here, but they do charge us extra because they're shorter runs. So the township pays more than like the county would pay because they have such nice long runs. But it would save that, getting the company here and set up, so it would save a little bit.
But we're good on that, you think, for a year?
I think that's okay.
All right. And the other thing I just want to mention, what? The other thing I wanted to mention briefly was Mike's been working with Manaway, and now the county engineers are involved for our joint application for, I guess we're going to focus on the west end of Crackle now, based on traffic counts.
Of the center also, so it'll be
Yeah.
from Auburn to Thorpe and then from Lund
Yeah.
to Bainbridge.
And that's based on traffic counts.
Our Jog County engineer is working with their engineer on the other project to get those repaved for 27.
That section of Crackle has never really seemed to hold up very well. I mean, a couple times where we did the paving, it started problems, is there something in the
It's kind of
way
narrow.
just the narrow, the ground there? Or-
Our engineers like a little wider roads, so you have a little more protection on those outside edges. I did try to fill some of those berms in when we were down there. They were breaking off, it's so narrow down there.
You talking, where are we talking, from Lund to the Bainbridge line?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking? Because I know when we first did the very first project there, we spent almost a year, both of us, Manaway and us, just ditching to get the proper ditching in there too, so.
Yeah, that's the important part.
Okay, ready to move on? All right, we'll go to the trustees and we'll start with Mr. Troyan.
Okay, I don't know if anybody noticed, but about a week and a half ago, there was an accident here on East Washington and Munn. Pickup truck going northbound on Munn. Was checking his, on Auburn. And is checking his GPS, didn't see the light in another pickup truck, and they both ended up on the town hall property over here. One truck actually hit the building and moved the front stoop. Nobody was hurt. I think there was, they had some cuts because of glass or something. Nancy broke some paper towels.
Minor injuries.
But there was nobody was major injury, which is good. So we've got notified our insurance company. We got the sheriff's report, notified their insurance company. I asked Nancy to basically, until we get everything fixed, to cancel anything that's going on in that building. Because the whole front stoop is moved away, so it's not safe.
Trashed, that front entrance is.
We did have them come out and check the building. There's no structural damage. Looked at it, there's some siding that has to be replaced, and then the stoop repaired. So she's...
That one sandstone kind of got blown up too, didn't it? Isn't there a chunk of sandstone about
Yeah, part of the foundation,
6 or 8 by like that maybe, under the window?
It's fixed, yeah. Should be a huge deal.
So anyway, she's got, getting some quotes on getting that all fixed up and getting the insurance people coordinated, so hopefully we can get that back up and running in the next couple of weeks.
We had some discussion, and Frank went over and measured a couple things about possibility of a handicap access ramp there. I've certainly helped old people get up and down those steps more than a few times, so.
Well, if they're working on it anyway.
Yeah, it's so-
hold up.
It'd be a difficult fit, but
Yeah,
Frank's
it
done
would
this
be-
kind of thing, and
I think you'd have to go either east or west. You can't come out straight, you'd have to go east or west.
We're talking about a ramp?
yeah.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
do with the ramp.
I'm surprised we haven't had one before.
Well, I'm surprised that we don't have to do it when we repair it,
Is that because it's a
because it's a
historic
public
building?
can't. No, I can't say that, because that's on the National Register, the museum, and that's got a ramp out in front, so it's just a matter, I think that was some free money the township got way back when.
Right,
though.
I remember
I
that.
don't, but yeah, I think that's how that
Like I
landed
said,
there.
I think this is a good time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the building gets a lot of use.
Yes, it does.
You know, if we're collecting on somebody's insurance, because that was the guy that hit the building too, was the one that caused the accident, from what I understand. Yeah, there'll be a time if we could fit that in, we should. There may be grant money available for that too, if we have enough patience.
I just know that, you know, I mean, I know that we even had issues with this building, you know. That's why we had the mat.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, once we get the quotes in here for the repair, we can talk to the,
Absolutely.
whoever we give the final contract to give us a quote on that, separate from the insurance. Okay, that's all I had to say.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yeah, a couple things coming out of the last meeting that we discussed at length then too. We did make a grant application since we have quotes from JFD for where we took the tree out at the far end over here. Stump grinding, just make a little bed there. I think that was through the Department of Commerce. It's a real kind of a fluky thing that we came across this grant source, but we did, and Nancy made the application. It was due right at the end of July. $2,500 is the maximum for this grant. It's a statewide thing, so not everybody gets it. But I think this estimate for over here was like for around 14 or 15. So I said, throw it in, and we're in the system, and maybe we'll make an annual application for such things.
It's actually a cemetery grant.
It's through Commerce though somehow.
But it's a cemetery grant,
Yeah.
because I sent it
Yeah,
to
oh, did you?
Mike
Thank you.
Ludwig on July 1st. But I think I sent it to the roads department email. I don't know if Mike ever looked at it.
Well, we did that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, 'cause I know I got some numbers for Nancy, and she got it.
Yeah, well, we made an application kind of last minute, but we did. The roof at Adam Hall, we discussed at length at the last meeting too, and we found that folder with many of the repairs that we've made over the years up there, and Gordon Wyrick, who's in construction, he's done quite a few little projects around here, is gonna contact some people, and now, you know, we've got the information, what's been done, so.
After the last meeting, I asked Nancy to, like you guys are calling around like Humble and some other people to come out maybe before we spend, I think it was Mike's idea, before we spend a lot of money to find out how do we actually fix this before.
Yeah, this guy's gonna focus on insulation. We've focused on that before. Remember that infrared
Yeah,
guy we hooked up with that you found? You know, that's, the reason there's ice there is because.
well, like I said, having that history is gonna help, because, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
everybody's gonna try, okay, here's all the stuff we did do that didn't work. Find us something that's, you know, viable.
I think, just my opinion, I think we're going down the right track rather than chasing a new
Right.
roof. To kind of find out what the source is. So that's all I have.
Okay, before I pass it on to Dan, the only thing I have is just to mention that on Thursday at 2:30, Frank and I have a meeting with ODOT to go over the traffic study at 44. And I'm sure this will have a lot of concern as far as our proposed truck stop and some other things down there, so.
And make sure that, you know, because originally they were talking about how our property was like the key and the only place you can
Right.
sell. See how much credibility there is to those statements.
Right.
Where are you doing that meeting?
Here,
Here.
at 2:30, Thursday. Okay. Pretty sure that's all I have, so I'm gonna turn it over to Dan.
Okay, since our last meeting, I processed 8 electronic payments totaling $33,354.93, and 17 warrants totaling $104,239.30, totaling $137,594.23. Balance the checkbook for July, so our bank reconciliation shows in our savings accounts and our primary checking, $1,991,198.81. And in our Star Ohio investment account, $239,887.90 for a total of $4,231,086.71. So that checking account balance will drop considerably once we get our bill from Roniak, and we also have a final quarter payment to the fire department for their contract, so.
Tell me again what the $27,000 is for Bright, B-R-I-T-E.
That's,
for our mobile data terminals that were mandated to replace. We budgeted for them. They're here and installed.
Okay. And our new guy is going for a CDL now?
They're getting that all set up, yeah.
Okay, well, I
He's not
see we
there
paid
now.
$1,700.
Yeah, they're getting for all the prepayment, and they're getting set up to do that. He's got a date set to go.
September, I think.
When did our septic tank cleaning, there was something wrong with it? Was that just for a cleaning, or was there something wrong?
Some kind of repair.
Is that here?
Anybody know?
I think, was that done at the road department? Is that the one you're
It
talking
just
about?
says
Yeah,
We
septic tank
basically
cleaning,
had a pipe
$2,000.
break in
Huh?
that, we had a pipe break. And they had to basically rework it. And when he started taking stuff apart, everything was breaking, so he replaced all kinds of fittings and pipes. But for some reason, that's a two-pump system, and he's not really sure why we need two pumps.
It was required by code.
Was it? He said he switched yours back to a single
Yeah,
pump.
we
And
went
he
back to
said
a
that,
single.
he said they could switch ours to a single, because one of the pumps, kind of, he got it to work again. One's newer, one's old. I think when the old one goes, they're gonna just scrap it. They're not cheap. So just go to a single pump system.
Chief, what was that again for Bright? What was that again for what?
Mobile data terminals,
The terminals.
yeah. The computers that go in the trucks.
Yeah.
That's how we communicate with dispatch anymore.
Okay.
And they really come in good for storms and stuff. When the system's called.
I got one other.
Please.
What at the museum uses electricity on an ongoing basis? Because I noticed we have one bill from Illuminating Company for the museum only, and it averages about $90 a month.
We
The
used to
outside
shut that
light?
off for 6 months a year.
Really?
There's nothing in there. In fact, I threw the main after Memorial Day. And last year, I think the last couple, 3 years, they've shut the service down, so we don't pay anything until, I think it's usually March when she turns it.
Yeah, we
back
don't
on.
use that much power, but there's like a minimum billing for a commercial building.
Yeah, it doesn't show us using anything, but.
Are we getting a
paying-
monthly bill for $90?
$90 a month.
And we have since January?
Oh, yeah, all year.
But wasn't it last year we had that turned off? I know we did for a couple, 3 years. The CEI was, worked with us enough that they shut the bill down for 6 months a year. And then we'd turn it on in February and March to see if the building needed work or anything prior to Memorial Day. I don't know if that's happened this year.
Doesn't look like it, does it?
Okay, well.
I mean, the lowest was 85, the highest was 101 in the last 6 months.
That's $1,000 a year.
Right, I mean, you gotta have access to power at some point out there. I mean, it's not like you're, snap your fingers and CEI is gonna turn you back on. But we were able to have that shut down half a year for a couple of 3
I
years.
remember we addressed this issue like 3 years ago.
We did, yeah, it worked, which kind of surprised me, but,
Do we just turn it on the day of the one day it's open?
No, I said we turn it on usually in March in case the building needs work. But
So it just runs lights, that's it?
there's heaters in there,
Are there?
Usually you plug the coffee maker in, right?
coffee maker. I mean,
Because I barely pay that much for my house, my electric bill.
when this came up, Mike, you'll remember this, Susan Plavkin was complaining about, she had a separate service for the barn.
Right, remember that.
And she came to a meeting, and they had that barn as commercial.
Her
And it-
barn?
Yes, and it was the same thing, it was $100. Do you remember this, too? It was $100 a month.
Because it was a separate building, it wasn't on one feed, like one feed to the
Right.
house that's feeding off the barn, there were two
Yeah.
separate buildings.
Right.
I have the same thing, but.
So that's why we looked into that right after she was here complaining, because we have the same issue at the museum.
And they explained this to us, which is why we went and just shut it down for 6 months.
And they did allow us to just basically shut the service down for half a year, which saved us the $600. Now, I don't know why that didn't happen after this most recent Memorial Day, but should have, because it had been routine.
And how long does it take them to turn it back on if they want to turn it back on?
It worked, the idea worked great for 3 years. I don't know why it didn't happen this year. It's the same.
So what we should do is call them or send them a letter and say, turn it off.
Turn it off until
And turn it off
March.
May 1st. So that'll give them plenty of time to have it on for Memorial Day. Unless we're planning any work. Are we planning any work other than we're talking about the windows tonight, but other than that, what kind of work?
It's gonna be these windows.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we get desperate, we can always run it. You know, for that, we can rent a small generator for, so it'd be a lot cheaper than $1,000 a year.
Don't table that, Dan. Call them and tell them to turn it off. Anything else?
Yeah, they've been doing that for us. So, as I said, maybe we didn't make the request this year, I don't know.
Maybe they'll refund them.
I doubt that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're real good at that.
That's all I had.
Okay, old business. As you know, Nancy gave us a quote at the last meeting for a tetherball set at the Auburn Community Park, which would cost us $350. And I'm betting we haven't really looked into any more as far as the legality of a
Oh, she did.
tetherball.
She
Oh,
did.
did she? I don't see anything in writing about it, do you? Other than what we saw at the last meeting.
Yeah, she checked with insurance.
And? Does Otama want us to check it every week to make sure the ball's got the proper air in it?
Oh, yeah, you gotta check. But, yeah, it was weird because it was tetherball. It doesn't actually have to be on, you know, you can put it on the grass. There's no requirement for the depth. But she filled me in, but we have her write up write it all up what you got, because I'm not gonna try to paraphrase what she told me.
So are we making any decisions on that, or?
Well, I think she should, you should all get the full report of what she found in writing. Based on what she told me, it's like, this isn't a big deal, the insurance company doesn't care, it doesn't have to be, you can put it pretty much anywhere.
She's got her Nancy, she had a note here, didn't she?
Well, they're saying, but to me, I thought, what Mike just showed me was the same thing she gave us at the last meeting, what it cost, and I don't see any technical information about it.
Well, when do we get something in writing? I'd say we table this until we get her information in writing.
Table it. Okay, quote from the GW Construction for the stripe and paint town hall windows for $5,600, and I think if we look down a little farther under new business, we also got a quote because Mr. Troyan was smart enough to ask about, instead of spending $5,000 to refix those, how much would new windows cost? And what it looks like here, new windows would cost $35,000. Discussion?
If we fix the old ones.
I concur with that at $35,000.
I will concur with that. So do we need a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize repair and paint the town hall windows for $5,600 for GW Construction.
I'll second that.
Mike,
Yes.
EJ,
Yes.
Gene.
Yes. Okay, we're gonna go on to new business now. Adopt Geauga County ADP policy, which was submitted and approved by our prosecutor. Is there a paper we need to sign for that? I saw that we have something.
No, I think it's just a.
Oh, here it is, okay. Jog County acceptable use plan. Do we just make a motion to accept this? That's all there is? I don't see
That's
anything
it.
for us to write.
That's all we gotta do.
That's all we gotta do. So I'll open the floor for a motion to accept the ADP policy.
So moved.
Second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Gene?
Yes. Okay. Next is the Department of Commerce correspondence informing us the deadline to express valid objections to the renewal of all liquor permits in Auburn, which is October 1st of 2025. I'll open discussion. I haven't heard any scuttlebutt about anybody here that has a liquor license, have we?
No.
No, nobody? Even though we are the beer capital of Geauga County, there's been no problems? Nothing? Nobody?
Yeah.
We're good? So
We're
we don't have
good.
to do anything then, right?
No, that was just kind of an,
Okay.
let us know, see if we wanted to do anything.
Okay, so we did the construction on the windows. Quotes, crack seal, fire station and service garage lots and drive. Asphalt fabrics, $28,000. American asphalt, $12,000. And MRH, $9,800. Discussion?
Why are they so wildly different?
Well, the only one I see here is from Asphalt
There's
Fabrics.
3 there.
Oh, is there all three?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should have copies, yeah.
Yes, crack seal, 320. American asphalt.
Are they all to the same specification? Because the one says
Well, that's what I'm looking right now.
ODOT 423 specification.
Crack seal, 9,000. Cracks, one full pallet. Large cracks are the only cracks that will be filled or sealed. MRH will decide what a large crack is.
Mike, do you know what
Now you got your
423?
answer.
There's all different ones, that craft coat has like 200, we use 515 on the roads. I mean, it's just the parking lot, so I didn't get real specific.
Well, just the fact that MRH is gonna decide what the large crack is and not you tells me.
They all wanted to push seal coating, and I didn't want seal coating, I just wanted the cracks filled. So typically in a real small cracks, that it's alligator, they just want to seal coat that whole area instead of filling this little crack in. But I just try to keep all the bids exactly the same, just crack seal.
All right, this one from American Asphalt, it says, includes, what kind of pad is that?
Helo pad?
Helo pad?
Oh,
What
A
is that?
helicopter.
Fire.
Landing zone.
It's what?
The
A
helicopter.
landing zone for a
Helicopter.
helicopter. Got the big
Oh, I
H
see,
system?
okay.
North of the building.
Yeah, I thought that was something they were putting down. Okay, here's striped as in. Have we ever done business with any of these three?
Asphalt Fabrics has done they've done crack seal for us, they've done chip and seal. I'm not sure why they bid it so high, it was $14,000.
14,000 for each
Yeah.
one, for the fire department and for us.
Yeah,
And American Asphalt, what?
about 6,000 each, and then the other one was over 4,500 each.
We ever done anything with American Asphalt?
I don't think so. I did talk, MRH did call me and we talked for quite a while. Seemed like they're gonna do a nice job. If he does a nice job in the parking lots, I may have him bid some roads. We'll see how he does in the parking lots.
Well, he decided not us, what is a large crack?
Typically with large cracks, they put a little sand in there to fill them, but yeah. There's some cracks that are, I bet you they're an inch wide.
Well, I'm just wondering, you said you might have to do some road work. When we do road work, we have the county write it up. They tell them what we're doing. He doesn't tell us,
Right,
right?
it'll be contracted, he's gotta sign a contract on the roads.
Discussion?
How long does this normally last? Just a year?
No, a couple, 3 years.
Well, it's been 5 years for the fire department.
Yeah, we haven't cracked seal for a while, and then he did.
Who did the last one?
Probably Asphalt Fabrics would be my guess.
Yeah, they did. They did a good job too.
Oh, yeah, they do a great job, but they're not cheap. We haven't used them on chip, they do a great job on chip, but they're always more expensive.
That's, like PJ said, that's quite a jump in difference, 28,000, 12,000, and 9,000.
Is there money in the fire department, fire levy fund for this, for that
Yeah, well,
portion?
yeah, they're paying their half, yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming out of that.
I'm gonna go ahead, since they are so different, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you, is this MRH somebody you think you can work with?
I like to work with them just to see how they do, kind of a good spot to check their work.
Where are they located?
With Chardon, I think.
Well, it's right underneath your nose down up here, so I guess you can stay on top of the project as it's being done.
Any
See how it lasts.
any references of jobs they've done in the past, or anything?
I haven't gotten any.
I'd like to know that.
Yeah, they're not sure.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, if they can give us
Give us a couple,
reference, a couple places we can go look
references
at
of
what they've done.
Okay.
Now, that 12,000 American Asphalt, that includes 5,900 for seal coating and almost 1,400 for line striping of the helo pad.
I thought that was extra, that 1,400 was extra. Wasn't that on top or no?
Well, it's on the bottom, and then the seal coating's on top. The actual crack seal's 4,800. That's all, 4,800?
Yeah, but, trying to get through them, I don't want seal coating. Seal coating dries out the asphalt, makes it go bad, so you don't want that. But yeah, they don't listen too well.
Okay, so we'll leave it that you're gonna contact
Yeah,
them,
we'll-
ask for a couple references that we could check, and if you're happy with it, then at our next meeting, we'll tell them to do it.
Okay.
That's all right?
That's fair.
That's MRH, right?
Yeah.
I could have American Asphalt give me some references.
Same thing, do that with
Yeah,
both
do
of them.
both.
We don't need that from Asphalt Fabrics, because we don't.
Yeah, we know the work they do, they're just expensive, they do good work.
Okay, sign and return to Nancy the CRWP conflict of interest form. I've already done that, signed it, so we're good there. Okay, so before I go into save the date spiels, is there anyone on the board that needs to bring up anything else we need to discuss today? No. Is there anyone from the audience that would like to address the board on any concerns they have before we go into save the dates? No? Good, Carl? Okay. All right, save the date. Board of Trustees will meet on 8/4, that's tonight, we're meeting. On 8/12, the BZA meeting will meet here at 7 o'clock. On 8/14, the Zoning Commission, it will be a public hearing for zoning amendments 01, 02, 03 at the Administration Building at 7 o'clock, 7:10, and 7:20. On 8/14 also, the Zoning Commission meeting will have their regular meeting at 7 o'clock. Again, we'll be back here with the trustees on 8/18 for our last meeting in August. 9 is September 2nd, the Board of Trustees meeting. Now, what is that? That's always the Tuesday after the fair? We don't meet on that Monday, right?
That
So
is,
we meet-
that is Tuesday.
That is Tuesday, so, yeah. Okay, on 9/9, again, the BZA will meet here at 7. On 9/12, the zoning commission meeting will meet here at 7. On 9/15, again, the board of trustees will be here. On 9/20, the Auburn Community Picnic at our Auburn Community Park. And on 9/27, the Auburn Volunteer Fire Department Clam Bake, pre-sale tickets only. How much are the tickets this year, Chief?
I'm waiting for the caterer to send me a final quote.
Final quote for the clam bake?
Right, we're hoping to keep it the same as we had last year.
I know Mr. Kavanaugh will want full lobster tails, you have those too?
No, we don't have lots of things.
We need a
PJ brought his
motion.
own fish sticks last year.
That's true, I'll save some money. Do we set that first meeting in September by motion? I think we did, because we didn't. So I'm gonna make a motion here at the tail end of the meeting that we hold our 1st of September meeting on the 2nd at 7 PM
Because of the holiday.
because of the Labor Day holiday.
I'll second the motion.
Because we have jump those around, like you might.
Well, I think we've done that quite a bit.
Yeah, but let's do it on the second, and
Okay.
then we'll be back on the 15th, and then we're off for 2 weeks.
That sounds good.
Mike,
Yes,
EJ?
Yes.
Gene?
Yes. Well, if there's no, oh, yes?
The website does not have links to those zoning amendments. They're pictured there, but it doesn't connect. If anybody was looking.
Who does that, Jane?
Nancy, I don't do anything with that computer.
I'll mention it to Jane to see if you say there's no amendment that's not written in.
It says, click here to view it.
But you
and
can't.
You can't view it.
Okay, I'll call her in the morning and see if we can take care of that. Other than that, nothing? I'll accept the motion of all motions.
so moved.
Second.
You need to say anything else? Mike,
Yes.
EJ?
Yes.
Gene?
Yes. Meeting adjourned.